Praise the Lord and welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today we're looking at this incredibly powerful narrative found in Exodus chapter 4. A lot of times we read these texts strictly as, well, ancient history. But today, we're going to look at this through a totally different lens. We're actually going to see it as a deeply compelling, personal story about overcoming imposter syndrome. It's just a brilliant look at human nature, self-doubt, and how we are equipped to do things that, frankly, absolutely terrify us. So I want you to think about this for a second. Have you ever felt completely unqualified for the job right in front of you? I mean, really imagine being asked to lead a massive, high-stakes rescue mission for an entire nation of people and feeling like you don't even have the basic skills to speak up in a room. That is exactly where we find Moses in this text. Long before he was the confident figure parting the Red Sea, he was literally history's most famous reluctant leader, just battling profound self-doubt. Now, what's really fascinating here is how explicitly Moses states his fears right to God. If you look at verses 10 through 12, he isn't just acting politely humble, right? He's terrified of not being believed. He flat out says, I am not eloquent, either in the past or since you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and of tongue. He is literally laying all of his insecurities right out on the table for us to see. And when Moses says, I am not eloquent, I am slow of speech, man, it brings this ancient text right into our modern world. Think about that modern dread of having to give a high-stakes corporate presentation to a board of directors. Or think of those brilliant leaders who've had to overcome profound stage fright before stepping up to a microphone. Moses is essentially staring at the greatest assignment in history and saying, yeah, I am definitely the wrong guy for this presentation. If we look a little closer at how this conversation actually unfolds in the first 17 verses, it is so fascinating. It's this direct back-and-forth comparison of Moses' excuses versus divine solutions. Moses starts off by saying, they will not believe me or listen to my voice. He is totally convinced they'll say the Lord never appeared to him. But for every single excuse Moses throws out there, God counters it with an immediate, practical, and divine solution to build his confidence up. Specifically, God gives him 3 powerful signs to use as undeniable proof to counter that fear of rejection. First, his staff is thrown on the ground and it becomes a serpent. Crazy, right? Second, he puts his hand in his cloak and it becomes leprous like snow. And then boom, it's instantly healed. And third, if they still don't believe him, he's told to pour water from the Nile onto dry ground, where it will turn into blood. Now, these aren't just random acts. They are targeted solutions meant to prove his authority to his audience. But honestly, my favorite part of this whole exchange is God's very first response to Moses' panic. What is that in your hand? Moses simply answers, a staff. It's kind of like a modern professional agonizing over lacking the right, expensive software to finish a project, only for a mentor to step in and say, hey, just use the basic tools you already have on your laptop. God doesn't hand Moses some magical new item. He starts by using the everyday tool Moses is literally already holding. But look at the sheer weight of Moses' self-doubt here. Even after having this incredible conversation, and even after witnessing absolute miracles with his own eyes and his own hands, his imposter syndrome takes over again. In verse 13, he finally just says, oh my Lord, please send someone else. His fear of failure is so deeply rooted that he still pushes back and asks for an exit strategy. And this brilliantly illustrates the power of partnership. The text tells us that the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses because of his resistance. But here's the amazing part. God still accommodates him. He brings in Aaron the Levite, Moses' brother. God says, I know that he can speak well. Aaron is assigned to be the spokesperson, showing us that sometimes the absolute best solution to our greatest insecurity is just linking arms with someone who is strong where we're weak. Well, this leads us right to the pivotal moment where Moses finally moves forward. He goes to his father-in-law Jethro to get his blessing, and then the text says he takes his wife, his sons, puts them on a donkey, and heads back to the land of Egypt. And crucially, he also takes the staff of God in his hand. He is finally turning around to face the very past and the very Pharaoh that he previously ran away from. Now, on the way back to Egypt, the text includes a very culturally complex and honestly mysterious midnight encounter at a lodging place. The Lord meets Moses and seeks to put him to death. It's a really intense moment that gets resolved when his wife, Zipporah, takes a flint, circumcises their son, touches Moses' feet with it, and says, surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me. It's a stark, fascinating scene that highlights the severe reality and the strict requirements of the covenant they're operating under. It proves that stepping into true leadership requires serious, sometimes painful spiritual preparation. But watch how beautifully the pieces fall into place as the team assembles. The Lord directs Aaron to go into the wilderness, and they have this massive reunion at the mountain of God. Moses doesn't hold anything back. He shares all the words the Lord had sent him to speak and all the signs he had been commanded to do. The team is finally assembled, and they are on the exact same page. Together, Moses and Aaron go and gather all the elders of the people of Israel, and they execute the plan perfectly. Based on their partnership, Aaron speaks all the words that the Lord had spoken to Moses, and the signs are performed in the sight of the people. It really proves that acknowledging your weaknesses and working together as a cohesive team can overcome even the most massive hurdles. And look at this incredible outcome from verse 31. And the people believed. When they heard that the Lord had visited them and seen their affliction, they bowed their heads and worshipped. This is just such a deeply satisfying resolution to Moses' initial crippling fear from back in verse 1, where he cried, "They will not believe me." Through obedience and partnership, his voice was absolutely heard. So, what does this all mean for us? The crucial point is how we take this ancient text and actually applied it to our own lives today. Here are 3 actionable steps straight from Moses' journey that you can use daily. Number 1, look at what is already in your hand. Start with the tools you already have. Number 2, accept the help of others. Seriously, it is okay to need an Aaron in your life. And number 3, you have to face your past to move forward into your true purpose. I want to leave you with this provocative question to reflect on today. What is the staff you are holding right now? What everyday skill, experience, or tool do you already possess that you might be dismissing just because you feel unqualified? You might just have exactly what you need to begin. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this breakdown helpful and insightful, please like, share, and subscribe.